Hello everyone, welcome to the UK Prepper Network and our open mic night slash news slash talk about whatever's going on slash whatever Mike feels like doing tonight. The usual total unorganised mess. Before we introduce our guests, can I get somebody to let me know you can see and hear me okay? Yes, I have a shirt. Yes, it's not quite ironed. Sorry, it's called half an effort. Anyone in the chat, confirm you can hear me. Am I here? Am I talking to myself? There we go. 5x5. Evil and Miss Worm, both my awesome moderators there, checking in and confirming that. 47 of you in here so far. I've got a weird little signal thing. I don't know why it would give me a Wi-Fi signal. I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm Ethernet it in. So anyway, it's an open mic night. You know the score. StreamYard link is in the chat. I'll post it every so often. If you don't see it, just pop a message in there and let me know. Any questions, anything like that, try and highlight it yourself by putting it in capitals or putting question at the start. Or you've got the option, of course, of super chats and stuff like that, which automatically star. Any donations are very welcome because we cannot monetize because of the topics and what we're talking about. We just can't. They just won't let us. They just don't like us. So, yeah. It's pretty much that. I'll put the banner across the bottom so you can read all about it. And we'll get our first guest on. He's not a guest. Not a guest. I don't know why I'm saying guest. Get our regular on. Here is Ben from Renegade Preppers. How you doing, Ben?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me again, Mike. And I am a guest. I've been in the shadows too long dealing with personal issues. But hey-ho, let's go.
If you're on more than 2 or 3 times, listen, it's kind of the rule when somebody comes to your house, right? Once they've been 2 or 3 times, like, they'll make your own brew. You know where the kettle is by now.
Yeah, it's part of the furniture. But even if the world is ending, I wouldn't miss this one for the world. So cheers to that, man. And hello, chat. Good evening, all.
If he talks absolute gobbledygook tonight, it's because Ben is running 73 hours no sleep, something like that.
Thereabouts. A lot's been going on in the world. It's been quite entertaining, and I've had proper adventures, if you want to call it that way.
By the time it kicks off, you won't be prepared if you can't get up because you're that tired.
More sleep must be required.
Yeah, Mr. T's mentioned the digital ID card, CBT, 9p a mile a day, blah, 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 and all that lovely stuff. We are going to go into that, Mr. T. I wasn't blah, blah, blah in your comment. I will star it and we'll come back to it and make sure we mention everything. We won't do that first. We'll wait till we get a crowd. That's like the main event. So we will talk about the Brit card and Trump's UN tirade. Is that the right word? But first, I want to mention something which is unusual. I haven't got any more details at the moment, but it was on the Discord this morning, and it was regarding this. This is a convoy, a motorway convoy, transporting usually something high explosive, like nuclear weapons and stuff like that. Now, these are not a new thing. These have been around, like, you could see these driving into Stirling. You can see footage from them driving into Stirling in Scotland in 2012. They move stuff around. It's done. What is unusual is it's usually just on the motorway with the escort. This one, they close the motorway for, which I found very interesting. That's the wrong one. There we go. That's one of the trucks. It's for maximum stability. That's why it's designed the way it is. Because, you know, you don't want to shake up a nuclear weapon. But yeah, moving nukes around, Ben. Warning signs for anything?
I wouldn't say warning signs yet. I mean, to be honest, anything these days is being classed as an exercise. We know this. So just maintain present course, everybody. It's just another exercise.
It's with our military. It was probably empty trucks. Let's pretend we've got nukes.
Either that, or they've got the paper mache classes in, and they've made some paper mache ones.
Leanne Mack, yes, we can do that. I will do that for you. Unless, oh, Miss Worm's already on the case. Let me do this then. Can I? Nope. This one. How do I do it? Can't do it from here. Miss Worm, can you pin that comment to the top? I can't seem to do it from StreamYard. But it is there. The protest. I love them petitions things, and it does give them a voice, but with this government, they won't listen to 3 million people marching through London. Does anyone think they're going to listen to an online petition or even give it any credence at all?
No.
I mean, yeah, I've signed it. I've done my bit, but I just can't see it thingy. Agreed, Michael. Nuclear transport. I don't know why I said my Sunday name. I said Michael and he wrote Mike, but never mind. Alas, I cannot pin. All right, never mind. We'll post it again later and we'll remind folks. I will star it, then I can re-put it on the screen. There we go. Ben's preoccupied. He just comes on here to do his own thing, you know.
Ironically, this will make everyone laugh. I want a bit of chuckle news at Mrs. RP's expense. She's broke her DS.
I mean,
I would say how, but let's just say there's ways of playing games. What did you do? Oh, one sec.
Chronicles, I caught alive. There we go. Oh, Rachel, thank you very much for the $2.99 super sticker. It really does help on these streams without monetization. It helps to pay Miss Worm's extortionate wages. So thank you for that. We're all about to be proven right. Just hope we can still communicate, says Matty Jones. The nukes are also sent by rail with armed guards. Really? With our rail system? They would never get there on time for World War III. Send them now for World War IV. Chronicles, thank you very much for the £5 donation. I assume that's a super sticker or something because there's no chat message with it. Really do appreciate it. Oh, crap, she's here.
Sorry, I'm back. All good.
It's all right. We're just, everyone's chipping in for Miss Worm's wages that she didn't realise she got.
Miss Worm, I'll write you an IOU. We're skint. I do a hospital trip.
Right. I want to talk about the Brit card because that's the main event here at the end of the day. I was hoping to have a couple more guests come on. So, Mark, if you're listening while you're canning, this is your opportunity. I've emailed you the link and it's in the chat. Our American cousin. So anyone does want to join, it is an open mic night. Come on. You don't have to talk about the topics we're talking about. You can talk about something new as long as it's vaguely currenty, eventy, preppy related-ish. Not just, hello, Mike, here's my bunions. It's not, doesn't make for great TV. I want to play a little video for everyone. This is where copyright really, it's a good job we're not monetized because, yeah, we'll get absolutely stung. They'll probably take the video down afterwards as well. So, good job you're catching it on the live because you might not see it on a replay.
I got it on OBS.
This was sent to me on Discord by somebody who I completely remember. That's why I'm not scrolling trying to find who said it right now. For time. Who sent it? You're supposed to be helping me out here, Ben. You're not helping me pad for time at all. Fantastic Raccoon sent me the video. Thank you very much, Mr. Raccoon. Oh, before we start the video, we have an honoured guest, Lee from the Bugouts. How you doing, Lee? Can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Lightly.
There we are.
Are the headphones working this time, or is it just for show?
It's just for show. I don't know what it is with these headphones.
When I come down in October, we're doing tech support. I'm going to come in and help you.
You have to show me what to do.
I was just about to show a video that somebody sent me with regards to this Brit card. Because my video I just put out was basically saying this is the step before digital currency. So somebody sent me a video and thought it'd be interesting for everyone to see. So it's a 3-minute video. So have patience, guys, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Good morning, citizens. Your overnight account balances have been updated. Time to start a productive day. Final notice, your account balance is below 500. You need 50 credits by the end of the day to avoid automatic eviction. If you have missed work due to illness, you must provide a doctor's note to reclaim your credits.
Any extra credits? Please. Tensions are high today, with more people planning to join the Citizens Against Digital Control protest. Remember, the government knows who you are at all times. Resisting is not worth the consequences. All of their newest social credit systems are designed to keep you and your families safe and efficient.
Authorities seized a record balance of an individual's credits, citing excessive hoarding.
Traffic violation detected. 7 miles per hour over the limit. 75 credits have been automatically deducted.
You have to be fucking kidding me.
Yep, you got the flu. Your blood work shows a significant iron deficiency. I recommend incorporating more red meat into your diet.
Dr. Jones, your taxes were not filed and have been automatically deducted with late fees. Your medical license has been revoked.
Oh, hell nah, I filed an extension.
Purchase denied. Monthly red meat allowance exceeded. Try mealworms instead.
Can you guys please let me through?
Attention! Unauthorized political gathering detected. Participants' access to financial services has been suspended. Due to the speeding infraction, your car will be immobilized for 3 days.
Fuck you! Take your surveillance policies and rot in hell!
You've earned 50 bonus credits for reporting your neighbor's hateful misconduct. This content exceeds your current social credit tier. May we suggest citizen responsibility? Sarah, open the door. You have been identified by the authorities. Don't resist. Don't resist. Don't resist.
Hello, Paul. Thank you for joining during Welcome to the Movie Night. Now, that was the extreme, like that. That was the extreme version of what we're talking about, not just Brit card being a digital ID, but the step into a digital currency. And pretty much that touched on every conspiracy side and things like that people talk about when they talk about stuff like this. So I've got a bit of an echo coming from you there, Lee. I don't know if it's coming through the speakers or too loud or something.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. That's fine. Cool.
Yeah,
So the social credits as the next step after this Brit card. What's your guys' thoughts before we delve into that video?
Yeah, I've been talking about this for about 5 years, and it's been on the cards for years. This digital ID, like I've been saying to a lot of people, they need the digital ID in place before they bring the central bank digital currencies in place. And it's just a step after step after step. You know, they brought on the online safety bill and other measures. This is just the next step, and then, yeah, the CBDCs will be the last step. And then they got control of everything, and just about.
Do you think it's realistic, though? I mean, obviously, there's going to be petitions and protests and stuff like that as the usual thing, but he don't pay any attention to that, does he?
No, it won't matter. I don't think, anyway.
No, it was interesting. Ben, what did you make of that video?
To be honest, that's quite close to what we're seeing right now. Think about it with the protests, even though they was ones that were peaceful protests and excuse me, I got the lurgy, sorry. But no, I gotta be honest, that was quite realistic for what it was. What was it, 3 minutes?
Yeah.
No, that was pretty spot on, especially with what's been going on with the announcement of the Brit card. At the end of the day, that's another step to the government knowing where you are and what you're doing, who you are and where you live.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, before we delve into it, Paul, what did you think of the video?
It was interesting. I only caught about 2.5 minutes of it, but everything I see in it is pretty much basically exact same stuff that's going on in China that's going to happen in the UK.
Yeah. Think we're going to become the new communist nation of UK.
Well, the Fabians, isn't they? You know, Starmer all out there and Blairites are all Fabians, which are communists. And,
Yeah.
That's their plan. You know, their logo is a wolf in sheep's clothing, isn't it? The Fabian Society.
Yeah.
It is, and that's yeah.
Well,
they don't hide it. Yeah.
No, this is it, and he's made it clear that protests and stuff like that are just going to be brushed off. He's got his agenda, and he's not changed his mind, no matter what it is. The interesting one in there as well, I found, was somebody getting all their credits removed for excessive hoarding. I think that puts us all into a risk category right there.
But this has been like advertised for years. You know, the cashless society, digital IDs, and all that. It's nothing new. It makes me laugh for all the news reporters are, saying, "Oh, this breaking news. We're gonna have digital ID." But you can go back 10 years, and people are talking it then. They're warning it's going to come then. So
yeah, but I mean, they tried to implement it in the last Labour government, and it got shut down by the incoming coalition for going to intrude on civil liberties and stuff like that. But it sounds like they want to do it still, and they want to get it across the line. It feels like a massive investment for something that's not really going to solve the problems they say it's going to solve, right?
It's nothing to do with migrants and all that. That's just an excuse. They need the excuse to try and convince people to go for it.
Yeah, we're doing it for your safety.
Yeah, they tried it for COVID, didn't they? Track and trace. They wasted billions were written off track and trace. There's almost like it was a precursor, a practice run, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that money didn't disappear. That went into someone's pockets, and no one has dragged over the coals about it. But yeah, I think it was like 50 billion they lost in that track and trace. Yeah, of our money.
Yeah. Well, it comes out that bottomless pit. That's fine. Miss Worm said Starmer is also a Trotskyite. Trots want to dismantle capitalism, so what they're doing to the economy becomes obvious. They're actively trying to crash the economy to destroy capitalism.
Yeah, that's what the Fabians are all about.
Question from Phil Hull is, how does digital ID help control migrants? It doesn't. So, I mean, okay, I'll play devil's advocate. The idea behind it is anyone who's had an Uber Eats, Just Eat, delivery, Deliveroo, delivery, I don't know what your area is like, but round me, the guy or girl delivering it to the door is not the person on the app. And the person on the app might be the same, and 3 different people come throughout different weeks. So this is how they're getting work and stuff like that. So the idea is, if you have to have a Brit card, you can't then go and get a job doing this sort of thing and come here to work and just hoard all the money and stay in the hotel, etc. Is the idea.
I've never used Deliveroo. We don't have that sort of stuff around here. And but it was before Deliveroo and whatever they're called. It was, the barber shops, the kebab shops. There was something else. Right? There was always different people in there. In working in there, so that's always been the case, and this Brit card is never going to stop that.
That's not going to change because the people that we're talking about are not registered as employees anyway. They're not paying tax on them. They're not paying their NI contribution. They're getting cash under the table.
Yeah.
But this is why I think this is a precursor for the social credit / cashless society, because they'll do this and then 6 months down the line they'll go, oh, it's not working as well as we thought. We think it's because of people paying for cash and stuff like that. So if you really want us to help with the migrants, we will become cashless, centralized digital currency.
Cashless is coming, right? They wanted the central bank digital currency in by 2025, and there was so much backlash, and it's put it back to 2030. And they need the digital ID before then, because it won't work without the digital ID and facial recognition and all that. So that's why it's a big push to get that in while Starmer's in charge, while he's there, because I don't think he'll be there that much longer. So they need that in place before they can even think about the central bank digital currency. And that's been drawn up already. That's been designed and been drawn up, discussed behind closed doors already. Yeah, it's all going that way.
I'm fully aware we've got the software to do it, and I very much think it's a case of getting the approval and flicking a switch at this stage. It's been developed for that long.
Yeah.
But people like Subdue Light here, just with the vaccine passports, do not consent. They'll be able to turn your bank and everything off with a switch. Any wrong thing, no booster. What's the alternative, though? I mean,
I always said to people in the shop years ago after COVID, you've got to be prepared to live on the fringes of society. If you don't want to comply, you've got to live on the fringes of society. You know, if you want to buy stuff, purchase stuff, you got to use. If there's no cash, you've got to use other forms of payment. If you want to get by, you won't be able to obviously travel and all that. And healthcare, I don't know how strict they'll be on healthcare. You know, are they going to turn people away if they haven't got a digital ID? In the hospital, I don't know, but you have to be prepared to perhaps do about certain things if you're not to be part of it.
And it'll have to be that extreme, like literally everything, like your driving license, everything. They could implement it on anything. They're talking about doing it on people renting houses, which I assume at first will be social housing, because to get all the private landlords on board, it might be a different story. But yeah,
they could be happy.
You are.
You alone, nothing can be happy.
That's it. This is it. It's but will it stop crime though, Lee?
No, it's not going to stop crime. They're just using it. You know, the old saying, "A problem, reaction, solution." They got the problem. We're giving the reaction, and now they got the solution. You know, the solution's been there for years. They just needed that impetus to put it in, and a lot of people will welcome it in open arms. They say, "Oh yeah, it's a great idea." Like the online safety bill that was brought in to protect our children, protect the kids, and online safety bill. As soon as it was in, they used it against us today. You know, people saying things on Twitter and Facebook. So yeah, they're a wolf in sheep's clothing.
And he consistently lies about it as well. At the meetings with Trump, and if I hear him say it one more time, we've got a long history of free speech in this country, and we're very proud of it. He never uses the words "we do have free speech" or "there is free speech." He talks about a history of it, and we're proud of it.
Yeah.
Very political answers.
And I always said for years now, once you've seen it for what it is, there's no going back, and you can see their play. You know, you can see the actions they're taking. You know, like lately, you know, with the cash, they're making harder and harder for people to use cash. They're making restrictions on how much cash you can take out per week. They're making restrictions on bank transfers from businesses to other people. They're holding the money and making sure it's for your safety again. And so they're making that harder and harder. So even with banks, they're charging like 4 or 5 times more now to put cash in the bank as a business than it was before. Before it was like, you know, it was more or less free. So people are steering away from it, ready for the central bank digital currencies. And of course, people will be saying, "Oh yeah, they're saying it in such a way that people will say, oh, that's a good idea. It'll be so convenient. You know, this card will be so convenient. It'll be for your convenience." And once it's done, once they've got that control, that's it. They'll never relinquish it. Yeah,
this is it. You'll be stuck in the system.
Yeah.
And you'll have to have a certain amount of credits to do absolutely everything. And they'll also use it then to push the carbon agenda, everything like that. Oh, Lee, you've drove way too much this month. You can't get any more fuel because you've already hit your carbon footprint allowance.
Yeah, I say this has been forecasted for years. We was talking exactly the same as this 5 years ago during COVID. You know, the people I know, and it was just a waiting game when it's going to kick into place. We thought, you know, during COVID, it was going to come straight after COVID. As soon as COVID finished, that it was going to bring in place then. But there was so much backlash after that, and people, you know, on the streets and that they obviously they waited a few more years. But I think they're trying to get it all done before 2030. Yeah.
You think that's the timeline?
It was 2025, and it's Agenda 2030, isn't it? But I think that's the new date. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul, do you think calling it the Brit card is an attempt to say, look, I'm listening to the right, you all wave flags, and I'm using the word Brit?
I personally hope he chokes on his Brit card myself, but I actually think he's just jumped on the bandwagon to try and go with the flow of the people with the English flags with regards to the protests and whatnot.
Right. Well, yeah, it's
What else
Yeah,
would I call it? Yeah, what else would they call it today other than Brit card? You know,
it just does. Do you not think
they've
it
got to-
sounds daft?
Well, they just got to convince people that it's a good idea, haven't they? So what else would I call it? A national ID card or something? You know,
That
so-
would sound more official. That would
Yeah.
sound like I'm supposed to have it. You know, like a driving license,
Yeah.
a passport. A Brit card sounds like something, you know, to let me in the gym, or you know, I get for discounts on Weatherspoons. I don't know.
because the younger population will probably go for that, don't they? You know, and they'll sign up for it, no problem at all.
Oh yeah, can't get your student education if you don't have your Brit card. You can't go into university if you don't have your Brit card. It's all the avenues they'll take for it. But how can people resist? That's an open question to anyone. How could people resist this?
Well, the only way we're seeing it at the minute, Henry. Petitions. It's the same way we're seeing it now. The only way we can do it legally is through petitions. And all they do is get swept under the carpet.
Yeah, I mean, Lee, you mentioned avoiding it by living on the fringes of society, but can anyone fight back? Can they just refuse it? How would they enforce it?
You could probably refuse it, but then make life so difficult if you haven't got one. You know, you won't, like I say, you won't be able to get your driving license. You won't be able to rent a house. You won't be able to open a bank account. You know, you won't be able to go abroad. So they make it so difficult that you have to get one.
And the question is, have they actually detailed what it entails, what the Brit card actually does? Does it coincide with your passport? So if you go abroad from the UK, do you need your Brit card and your passport?
You'll have to carry it. You'll have to carry it everywhere. So when the stormtroopers say "papers, please," you can...
Yeah. But what if you don't carry it? Like, what if you are against it though, and you don't carry it? What would that implicate for you?
But like, I don't know why everybody's so surprised, because the writing was on the wall. Was it like a couple of months ago when European Union declared they're going to have a European identity card? So
yeah,
you know, it's not rocket science that we're going to be next. You know, the writing's been on the wall for years. And when it comes to IDs, you've already got all the identification you need. You know, with your driving license, national insurance number, your passport. You know, so you don't need anything else. So they can't convince people that you need another ID. So what they're going to say is, for your convenience, we can put all those into one card because it make life so much easier for you. You know, and that's the way that they're swinging it, isn't it? It'll be they've already said is to update for government use, so you can access government services so much easier. Who accesses government services anyway? You know, I don't access government services.
When you do your taxes, Lee, yes, you do.
well, funny enough, like last time I done my taxes, last year you just paid with bloody card or whatever. Then this year you needed biometrics. I thought, I'm not giving my biometrics. They want to take a picture of me and all this, but there was an option not to do it. Now I'm guessing next year there won't be an option not to do it. So the biometrics is the next thing now. You want your photograph and everything, like the online safety building. If you go on something which is over 18, I'm not going to tell you what sort of sites I'm on about, but you need your ID.
Brian's favourites list. That's all you need to know.
You got to take a selfie and all that apparently, and show your face. So the biometrics is the next thing.
Nobody wants a selfie of me when I'm browsing them sites.
But people shouldn't be surprised because if you looked into this years ago, you can see it was on the cards anyway. Yeah, so I'm not surprised about it at all. It's just a matter of waiting game. I was just waiting for it to come in.
Yeah, Magic Acres says it'll probably be an app on your phone, like China. I mean, how does that work with people like my stepdad, who is complete technophobe and would never have a smartphone?
Yeah.
Does he just not have money anymore?
Well, they just presume that most people will. 90% of the population will have access to smartphones, and the others will just have some sort of physical card or something.
Yeah, there'll be an alternative for them. Great Gala, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. It's really appreciated. Don't forget, in China, you lose your social credit points for staying too close to someone with a poor antisocial credit score for too long. Sit on a park bench next to a far-right Terry and lose 50 points.
True.
That's going to ruin the prepper meets.
The Chinese are pretty obedient today. They tend to do what they're told.
I don't think they've got a choice.
Well, they have no choice now. So having something like that in China is relatively easy. Now, whether that would work in the UK, I don't know. I think we probably fight back against that. Which we did during COVID. The whole track and trace I said before, and if you don't have the jab, you can't go. You can't do this. You can't go that. And a lot of people fought back over it, didn't they?
I almost feel like Starmer is working for Nigel Farage. And hear me out here. Nigel's turned around to him and said, well, what you've got to do is alienate people so much that they have to vote not for Labour and not for Conservative, because that's what's happening. It might be a 2-horse race in the next election, but it's going to be Reform and Advance UK. There's not going to be any other big party in it. It's absolutely insane. It really is. What if your mobile won't work without it?
Good point.
How would they implement that? Unless you all had to have the brand new BBC mobile phone. No other phones are allowed in the UK. I'm not sure how they'd get the software onto foreign phones and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Well, I suppose the legalities as well. Have they got the right to refuse you to use the communications in it? So I don't know if that would work or not.
It's going to be interesting.
CB.
You have to bring back CB.
Yeah.
Can I play devil's advocate for a minute?
Of course, go on. You're going to tell us it's a great idea, aren't you, Paul?
No, I'm not. I'm going to tell you it's an absolute terrible idea. Because why would you want all of your information in an app or on a digital RFID card or something along them lines, when there's so many hackers in the world who would love to get hold of all of that information and do lots of damage with it?
But this is the illusion, Paul, that we don't already have this. You
Yeah,
have
I know.
you have an RF chip inside your bank card, which ties to your name, to your bank account, which can be tied to your driving license, to your full DVLA records, to your passport, to everything. You're all already in the system.
Yeah, I know, but this will just put everything together in one place. So the security side of it would have to be absolutely insane, because you know what the government's like for losing information, data, and all of that lot, for all these data breaches and everything. So
There'll be subcontract to Serco.
Yeah, Serco's an absolute. Can I be blunt and say a bunch of twits?
Yeah. Mel said, is this going to be a thing that if the internet is not working, neither will the card? Technically, that shouldn't be an issue. If you've no internet on your phone, you can still use your card. It works. It depends on the internet connection. If it was Lee's internet connection, you couldn't use your card to buy anything at his shop if it was digital currency, because it's his connection that it goes through. It doesn't matter about your phone or anything like that. So that's the way that would work. What are you going to do, Lee, if it goes centralized digital currency? Are you going to adopt it all and carry on with the shop, or are you going to start taking gold nuggets and silver coins?
I'll take all the gold you got. If you've got any gold, if anybody's got any gold, bring it to the shop. I'll buy it off you. Gold and silver is fantastic at the moment. My gold's gone up 20% this year, and silver's gone up 10% in the last 3 weeks. So yeah, bring the gold.
Platinum had a massive spike as well, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't deal with platinum so much. So yeah, I'll take gold, silver, no problem at all. Yeah,
Drachma, Deutschmarks, everything but a check. Lee will take everything but a check.
What about peanuts?
No, not peanuts. I don't eat any nuts. Steak, yeah, if we bring half a cow or something, I'll have that.
Chickens.
That'll be it. The black market will be red meat for preps.
Too right. Anything's got a value, isn't it? If someone wants it, it's got a value. It's just
Excellent.
the way it works. It's just
Lee, I've got 5 kids. What kind of store credit can I get for one of them?
Run off my own, Mike. You can keep them yourself.
I wonder what Mrs. Urban Prepper would say.
She'd say, "Great, now get rid of the other 4." We joke, but it's going to be mad because so many people are against it that if it is brought in, it is adopted. You've technically got no choice if you want to carry on in society. It's just gonna.
You know what the British government like? Yeah, but you know what the British government's going to like? It's like, they're fucking useless, isn't they? So when they do bring it in, it's going to take a couple of years to be done properly because they can't do anything properly, can they? The government. We've seen that during the COVID malarkey. So unless they really up their game and they've got it all ready to go, I can't see it working, properly straight away. So there'd be some teething issues. As if it, they got to get it through Parliament first, but I think that's a foregone conclusion.
But if they got through centralized digital currency, not just the Brit card, I think is going to happen. Like you said, it's been talked about for so long and it's already practically in place. But the centralized digital currency, if they got that through, come 2029, new party comes in, would they be able to reverse that, or is that going to be too much of a massive change back?
They're already talking to all the banks about it, and it's been a long time in the making. It's just like they're just waiting for that opportune time to launch it, and I say they can't launch it until they got a national ID system. So that's what I believe anyway. So when that's in place, then they can use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the Brit? I was going to say, what about the Bitcoin then? This digital Bitcoin they're going to be bringing out.
Well, that's when they need the Brit card first. They need a digital ID first to make sure everybody's got a standardized ID for the UK. Once that's in place, then next thing is the Bitcoin, the central bank digital currency. Forget about your own banks, NatWest, Midland, and all that. This is a central bank. This is the government running it, unfortunately. So this is where the controls come in.
And I reckon they're going to incentivize it through workplaces. Like if you get paid in the digital currency, you only pay X% tax. But if you get paid in British pounds, it's this much sort of thing. Incentive so people think, I'm getting more if I switch over.
They can't get rid of cash, right? Cash is protected under law, I'm pretty sure. But they make it so hard for you to use it. Even now, how many places do you know that don't take cash? How many people do you know who don't use cash? They're just using the
ruined Tim Hortons for me. Tim Hortons up and down the country, the chain of coffee shops, don't take it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I've been to loads of places, hotels, bloody Centre Parks, loads of places don't take cash, and
Starbucks.
So you won't be able to use it. And like I say, a few weeks ago, they already brought out this thing now with if you take more than £300 out cash a week, they're going to question it. If you transfer in £800 in one go on your bank, the bank can freeze it, ask you questions what it's for before releasing it. So they make it so awkward for people to use cash that people will just transfer to a digital coin, without even thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
The younger generation, they already do it. They don't use cash, do they? Hardly ever use cash. So they won't batter an eyelid at it.
I've handed it over in bars before, like when it's like a young server and you can see them suddenly. They'll press the card machine so it appears before they've even asked you. And you pull cash out and they're like, press the button. Yeah. Oh, now I've got to think.
Well, I always say it's the last bastion of a free man, cash, be able to trade with someone without anybody else sticking their nose into it. But when a central bank digital currencies come in, it's not between you and your bank or you and your card holder. It's between you and the government. The government's got access to all your information, and when it's programmable and controllable, they can, whether they do it or not, I don't know, but they can have the possibility of controlling what you can buy and where you can buy it. So if there is another lockdown and you want to go and when you're supposed to stay within 5 miles of your house and you want to go to your mate's house, which is 8 miles away, and you want to buy something there, it won't work. If, like say, the carbon credits and all that come into it, that is obviously the top end of the scale, but it's possible. If they really want to do it, they could.
If they stop cash at fuel stations and public transport, you're tied to it completely.
Yeah.
Otherwise, unless you'd never go anywhere, sort of thing. Snapdragon, will it mean no GP access and no NHS access? It'll probably mean you can go to the doctor, but you have to register for it there and then, and sign up for your card, etc. They'll give you a way to still get treatment, so it's humane, but it'll be under very strict circumstances. That could be a way of them half privatizing it. So if you don't have a Brit card, you pay. And suddenly when they're telling you a GP appointment's £250, £300 for a 10-minute phone consultation, Brit card starts to look more appealing, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Scary. Gold at 3,790 says banned again.
Yeah. Gold, you gotta remember gold, it doesn't increase in value, right? It holds its value. What happens? Money loses its value next to it. So if you went back to the 70s and you had an ounce of gold, it might have been worth perhaps 500 quid, and it'll get you a suit, handmade suit on Saddle Row. Now, if you had the same ounce of gold now, you still get the same value for it, but it would be £2,700 now, and it still get you that suit. So it still holds the value. It's just the money, your cash, has lost value next to it. And that's what I'm trying to explain to people. It's not that the gold's increasing in value; it's your pound notes is losing value next to it. So if you've got loads of cash, last thing you want to do is just keep it. You want to transfer it into gold and silver if you can, because in 20 years' time, that gold is going to have the same buying power that it has now, whereas your cash won't.
Yeah. On everything. Like, I did a tiny little food shop the other day, and it was a 15% increase year on year. 15% on food inflation on average. Some stuff's gone up 100%, but
it's not food inflation, right? Food hasn't gone up. It looks like it has, isn't it? But it's your buying power has gone down. The value of that money has gone down. That's what inflation is, isn't it? So it looks like things are more expensive, but the value of your cash has gone down. The buying power of it has gone down. When I was a kid, you can buy sweets. You get half-penny sweets. I don't know if you remember that, Mike. I don't know if you're that old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Penny chews. I love a penny. I used to get Mojos. Does anyone remember Mojos?
Yeah, but when I was a kid, it was half-pence. They were half-penny each.
I'm with Lee.
Yeah. So you can get, I had 50p pocket money a week. I can get a lot of sweets with 50p, and you get 100 sweets with 50p. But 50p don't buy you anything now, does it? It wouldn't buy you a chomp.
Somebody put a great AI picture up on the Discord. I've not loaded it on here, but it was a scene from like 2030, and it was just loads of council workers filling potholes that still hadn't been filled, and then a big sign said, "Cadbury's Freddo now £26."
Yeah.
I remember a 5p chomp. That's how far back I go. I think
5p. Christ.
5p for a chomp. Yeah.
What was it? A 20p snip. 20p marathon bar.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Chocolate bars are about 20p, which when I was a kid, it was about a lot of money because I can buy 10 Mojos for 5p. Yeah. So 20p for a Mars bar is loads. Can of pop is like 35p. But that just shows over time that inflation, how much worthless your money has gone. The value of things have gone up, but it's basically your buying power's gone on your cash. So if you've got any spare cash, turn it into gold and silver.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, what's the solution if it's not centralized digital currency? Which is it destined for an economic collapse?
I always said, for the last few years now, if they want to bring that central bank digital currency in, then they need an excuse. So it'll either be war or a financial crash. A lot of people saying it'll be both. And I still hold that. I think it'd be one or the other, because they need the excuse to bring it in. People just won't go for it, I don't think. There's so much backlash, and they can't force it on people, because I think there'll be uproar. And same as this card, to force it on someone, I think you're going to have people on the streets and that for so long anyway, until they just give in. So they need an excuse, and I thought it'd be a financial crash, and it's still looking pretty bleak out there financially wise. I look at a lot of things on the YouTube and that, and a lot of experts saying it's teetering on the edge of a financial collapse.
Yeah.
Whether it's orchestrated or not, I don't know, but it does happen every so often. They do have some sort of crash every so often to refresh the market a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be when you're taking wheelbarrows full of money to try and get your loaf of bread.
Yeah, well, it's happened in other countries in the past, and obviously Germany during the war, before the war, but it's happened in other countries, South America as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Post-war Germany is the great example of that, where it was becoming worthless and a dictator took over, complete, and then went to war, and look, it solves the problem. Sounds familiar, scarily.
Hitler was Time Magazine Man of the Year at one stage because of what he was doing in Germany and rebuilt the country.
Wow.
That's madness.
Yeah, but what he wanted is he wanted to run the country using the gold standard and not taking money off the Americans and the international banks. So yeah, all of a sudden he's at war. But
yeah,
our money is not worth the paper it's written on, right? They got rid of the gold standard. Used to, if you read the pound note, it would say, "I promised the bearer of this note so much in gold," wouldn't it?
Yeah,
that was the gold standard. They scrapped that, so it's not worth anything. The money.
It does say, "I still promise to pay the bearer," but it's the sum of.
Yeah. But then that £5 is not there. That notes is created. It can't be worth anything because they keep printing it, don't they? So every time you print in money, it's become worthless even more. And so it's not real money. But if you bring it to the shop, I'll take it. I don't mind taking it.
Yeah. Bring all your real money to the shop.
What other things do you take, Lee?
Say again.
Everything. He'll take anything that's not a check, I've said.
Yeah, no checks. Yeah. But
what about?
I know a guy who writes his own money. He writes his own promissory notes, and he uses that to pay, bills, utility bills and that.
How did that go down?
Yeah, it works. It works.
Is he in prison?
No. He showed me it's all about board. It's all done legally. Very knowledgeable on common law and all that. And yeah, because these utility companies, they just require a promissory note. So developed his own. Yeah, all the numbers on it. Going to make sure it's done properly. Yeah, prints it out.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
That's all the Bank of England note is. It's a promissory note. It's not money. It's a promissory note.
Well, I mean, the foundation of a promissory note is that it's backed by the Bank of England, right? They're the ones that are supposed to pay the bearer.
But that gold is not there anymore. Yeah, they got rid of the gold standard, so it's not backed by anything.
Yeah. This is it. Suburban Preppers said, I already get paid in digital currency. My bills are paid digitally. I pay for my groceries and utilities digitally. My son even asks for his pocket money digitally. Digital currency is already here. In a way, yes, but you can go and take that out. You have the option to go and take that out in cash.
Yeah.
Which would be removed.
And that's between you and your bank. Central bank deals with currency is different because that's government run. But it'll be obviously through the Bank of England, but it'll be, as the name suggests, central bank digital currency.
Yeah.
So as is, they want to bring in America and Europe as well, it'll be the central banks. So forget about your HSBC and Barclays and all that. It's a government central bank digital currency.
Yeah, which they could put covenants on and like restrictions on, like you saw in that little video. You've had too much red meat, try mealworms,
Yeah.
Scary. Would World War III delay a Brit card or speed it up? Speed it up. 100%, because you know why? If it goes to World War III, and now we're not talking nukes flying, we're not scared, fear-mongering in any way. We're talking about if the conflicts get larger that are already going on, and we start to feel the knock-on effects of war. The knock-on effects of war are what are going to affect us first. Things like rationing, energy shortages, things like this. What do you think you'll need? Do you think they're going to issue ration books, or will it be your Brit card that entitles to get you your ration? Yeah,
Brit card.
Yeah. Exactly. So it would definitely speed it up, Phil. It would definitely speed it up.
It's a perfect
with regards to the power rationing, that wouldn't apply to the majority of us, would it? Who are preppers, as long as we've got the old power bank, solar panels, wind turbines, and God knows what else there and whatnot, unless the government happen to come along and just raid every prepper's power bank and way of generating power.
I mean, that's. I think you're going into the extreme of where they were saying, "Oh, hoarders had their money restricted and stuff like that." They could kind of say the same thing, but I mean, the best head start for something like this would be to get as off-grid as you can. I'm not telling you all to move out and live in a tent in the middle of nowhere, but if you've got the options of some solar power, some backup power, and stuff like this, when it comes to any sort of rationing, you've got it there, right? And if you've got it, use it now. Save on your bills. Run a washing machine cycle and recharge it. You know, it just makes sense to do it anyway.
Already do.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Is this linked to the pay per mile idea? Someone mentioned that before.
The 6p per mile to drive in a car.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to change my job because I commute like a massive distance. It makes no sense that they bring that in.
Between 6 to 12p per mile.
If they implement that, companies will have to start paying it. So if they implemented that tomorrow, my company on my next salary would have to pay me my commuting. It would be as simple as that. It would have to catch up with it straight away.
Yeah, but would that only apply to internal combustion engines, or would the EV people actually get it dirt cheaper, or would they be paying more because of the weight difference between the cars?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure how they'd implement that. See, they could easily put it onto the charging stations, so where you stop, charge, and fill up, it's pretty much like a fuel station, so they could put it on the fuel tax like that. But they couldn't do it from home, because how do you define who's got an EV? And well, it's a difficult one. It's a really difficult one. I mean, if EVs are excluded, I'll tell you what, Paul, EVs will be excluded for this. Do you know how I know this? Because I'm getting rid of my EV. So it's sod's law that I'm getting rid of an EV when some sort of saving would appear. Yes, I've signed the dotted line. No more EV for Mike. There we go. It may be linked to it. I mean, it's all going to be linked to it in the end, Miss Worm, because that's how they'll track everything. So,
and you'll probably pay it yearly, because then that will be when your car go for the MOT, the government will take the mileage down like they do now, and then between the MOTs you'll get when your next MOT comes round, you'll get a bill for whatever it is times the amount per mile, and you'll be given like the year to pay it.
Yeah, it sounds like complete madness to me. Banned again said first digital card, second digital currency, third chip in your hand or head. And head, yeah. I mean, see, I believe that, but not for me. I think I'll be dead and buried before the third step. But the generations coming forward, they will do it because it's a trend thing. Have you got the new iChip? Oh yeah, you must have this. You must have. They all must have the iPhone, right? And they all must have the latest edition. They've already got that instilled into them. So to add a chip into that, like Elon Musk's been working on things like that, I think it'll just come in naturally. That one.
The iChip 25 special edition.
Yeah. Dartmoor Lucy Survival. I'm late in due to work. What do you guys think of a new ID card? Oh yeah, so we've just talked about. Go back and skip it on. Watch the replay.
In a nutshell, get rid of it.
We've not got it yet. You've got to have something to get rid of it.
Well, they got the idea. Get rid of the idea.
There's no NHS access now unless you're wearing a life jacket.
That's funny.
I agree. I actually agree with that.
He's obviously talking about maritime sailors and stuff like that. You know, nothing controversial.
And a lot more, but that we can't go into.
Gold was more like 50 quid in the 70s, not 500, says Liquid Avenue. You've still got gold in the ground in Wales, haven't you, Lee?
Not a lot. Yeah, yeah. But no, there's some gold mines. The Romans opened some gold mines in mid Wales. Yeah, and the Queen's, all the royal families' gold wedding rings come from Welsh gold.
Do they?
Yeah.
Right. There you go.
Didn't your shop on a gold mine, Lee?
That'd be a good prep.
Oh.
No.
No.
And he's well armed to prove it.
Yeah.
I know I have 3 different authenticator apps for third-party authentication in my phone. Everyone's been forced into them by my workplace and stuff like that. See, my workplace will adopt this straight away. I'm sorry if anybody's watching from my workplace, but they're already on the net zero carbon footprint thing galore. And yeah.
Don't get me started about that.
Well, let's talk about that for a quick second. Did anyone not see Trump's address to the UN?
I saw some of it. I didn't really. No, I don't really watch anybody using that, but
he was brutal.
Yeah. He doesn't care, does he, old Trump? But the problem is with American politics. I suppose British in a little bit like it. He's gone in a few years, isn't he? 3 years time, he's gone. So they're going to bring some other muppet in there. So if he can say what he wants now and try and do as many changes as he possibly can, but in 3 years' time they can just totally reverse it. Get someone like Biden back in it, and it just totally reverse whatever he's done. Unfortunately, if you're a country like Russia, you could have the same guy in here, right or wrong, for many years. And I suppose Britain is a little bit like that. We had Thatcher for it. Was it like 18 years or something to me? And
Thatcher weren't that bad.
Well, you would say that to the boys down in South Wales. They might change your mind. But so yeah, I like Trump. He's a straight talker. Says what he wants in it. But the fear I got, in 3 years' time, whatever he achieves will be just chucked under the bin and changed.
Yeah, this is the scary thing. Unless it's wartime in 3 years' time, Lee, and there's no elections, right?
Yeah. When Biden come in, like he pulled America out of the Paris Accord, and because it was a total waste of money. And as soon as Biden come in, they joined it back out again. And like same as the World Health Organization, he pulled them out of that when paying any money. As soon as Biden come in, they forked out money and straight back in there again. So they can say what he wants and try and do what he can, but if he's outdid, in 3 years' time, unless something else happens, it'll be all change again.
It's just, I find it a really interesting dynamic between him and Starmer, because they have these meets and they're all pally and shaking hands and some awkward moments and stuff like that. But then come away from that meeting, Starmer announces that we officially recognise Palestine, which I'm sure Trump is not with on that one, and then Trump is at the UN saying London's European countries are all going to go to hell if it's a failed experiment with the open borders, carbon footprint's a load of crap, which I agree with him. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong, but he's brutally honest there.
Yeah,
but we're not taking any of it on board.
No. But he said the same last time he was in power. In front of the UN, and they swear blinded then after he had that speech. And he said, it could be America first. He said, didn't he? This is like going back now, his first term, and they all said, he won't be in charge next time. And of course, 4 years later, he lost the election, didn't he? But he's back in saying the same thing again. Mm-hmm. So it won't change anything. That's what I'm probably trying to say. Is whatever he says, it won't change anything. Unless they get someone else in him like him in charge next time. If they can keep the Republicans, and not all the Republicans are like him. You get one or two. Most politicians, if you're a career politician, I think they're all fucking same more or less, aren't they? The career politicians. That's why I like Trump. He's something different. And everybody's praising Farage and all that, but Farage is a career politician as well. You remember, I know he likes to think he's our Trump, but he's not. Who's got our best interests at heart in the UK? I don't know. We'll wait and see, isn't it? But if we
people that are not in power, I would say, like not even in a position to run. People, the guys on the streets, the guys in the pub, everyone you talk to knows how to fix this country. But like you say, as soon as they're in power and they're getting that MP's salary, and they realise if they rock the boat too much, they're not going to get as much money, they just follow suit, right?
Well, the old saying is power corrupts. So once people are in power, it does. They might have the best interests at heart, but once you've got that power, and you can see the benefits of it, you can soon sway your ideas.
Yeah. Excuse me. Mr. T says 4 stages of fiat currency. We're at the last stage, hence why we got shafted. New will arise after a massive crash, unlike anything you've ever seen.
Yeah,
what a great time to prep.
Yeah. Well, I've said it for years now. When it comes to preps, what you're doing, you're transferring that cash, right? Whatever you got, if you got any spare cash, into tangible items that's going to see you through. Whether it's tools, equipment, food, whatever it is. That's why I've always said freeze-dried food. Yes, it's a big investment, the tins. But when I first opened up the shop, a tin of meat was £38 a tin, right? Now it's £60 a tin. Now 25 years lifespan. Realistically, will never go off. So how much that tin of meat is going to be in 25 years' time? It's going to be
£1,000,
600,000. Yeah.
Right? So that's just to show that the money devalues, but tangible items hold their value. So yeah, if you can transfer your cash, if you've got any spare cash, into tangible items like preps, tools, crossbows, whatever it is, precious metals, it's better than holding cash.
And there's no better time because there's a sale on at the bug out, so go and check it out now. I'll do it for you.
What a plug and a half.
It's true though. It's like you say. It's like if you hold on to that fiver for 5 years in a piggy bank in these little glass square cubes that they're talking about on TikTok for saving money, it's not going to get you the same it got you 5 years before. So you may as well have the items that you want to get with it. It just makes sense. I think people get fixated on with having the cash, but that's what disappears in value, right?
Yeah. I'm just as guilty. I always keep a little bit of cash, and it just for safekeeping. But I know when I'm looking at that cash, it's losing value every day. It is losing its purchasing power every day. Yeah. So you're trying to transfer that cash into something else, something that doesn't lose value, or if ultimately something increases in value.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody mentioned before, I can't see the comment now. Sorry. Somebody said, "Why buy gold now? It's at the all-time. It's an all-time high. It's too late. It's never too late because the all-time high now, in 10 years' time, will have been a good time to buy because it's not going to crash."
2 years ago, I was talking to a couple of lads, and I said, "Oh, if you can buy some gold." Oh, it was I think it was £1,800 an ounce. And he said, "Oh, it's too expensive. It's £1,800 an ounce." What was it now? It's nearly
doubled
£300 an ounce. Yeah,
about $3,000.
Yeah. So if another 2 years' time, it could be £6,000 an ounce, isn't it? So it's never too late. As I said before, it's not that the gold's going up in value. Your money is losing value next to it. The gold holds its value. So so if you're waiting for the opportune time, it's not going to be there because with inflation, your money's is worth less all the time. So it looks like that gold's going up all the time. So it's no good holding. It's not good waiting because it's just going to increase.
Yeah, the Bank of England have said no to crypto today.
Interesting.
And what do you mean, like other crypto or doing their own?
Probably the Brit crypto.
Yeah, Brit card until the internet goes down.
Then how do you pay with blood?
They don't like crypto because they can't control it.
Yeah, that's
why they don't like it. But again, you look at crypto, and I wouldn't put all my money in crypto. I wouldn't put all my money in one single thing. But it's just another option you could have if you had to spend money to hedge your bets.
I worked in IT when it all started, and I could have got Bitcoin for next to nothing. And I look at it now thinking maybe hindsight would have been a wonderful thing.
Well, yeah, but then it could have gone the other way. You don't really know. That's why you should chuck all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
So you try and spread it out a bit. I know financially, nowhere near it, but I just think like if I can spread it out in different things, if something goes wrong, I got other things I can fall back on.
Makes sense. Spread your risk with anything like that. Spread your risk, definitely, 100%. Mike, go self-employed and claim car expenses. I was self-employed for so long. I enjoyed it, but it's too volatile. And my skill set is vastly getting taken over by AI. So when I try and say, yeah, I'll build you a website, it costs you £2,500 for an all singing, all dancing e-commerce website. And then Wix go, oh, we've got an AI that can do that for you for $5.99 a month. Then I end up, broken, penniless.
You become the second thought, and the AI takes the first thought.
I'll be self-employed after me and Brian start our OnlyFans. It's fine. Link in the description. No, there's not. There's not. Mike, tomorrow night, one night survival, only 1 litre of water and 1 MRE sleeping under a rock on the moors. Video out Saturday. Look forward to it, Elusive. Look forward to it. Just trying to scroll down the comments because I've missed absolutely loads. Question from Camping Kings. What are the odds reform being voted in delayed due to being at war with Russia and therefore referendum will be put back? Will the voting have to start again or will the votes be added before count?
I'd say the voting would probably start again because anything's unpredictable during a wartime scenario.
I think, as much as we like to demonize Starmer and this government because what they're doing to us, I don't think he'll have some sort of desperate cling on to power. People thought Trump would start a war last time just to hold on to power, but he didn't. I don't think that's going to happen. If we're at war, it should only affect us if we're directly at war, like World War II style, London's getting bombed, the Blitz, things like that. If it's a war far away and we're just getting the knock-on effects and we're sending equipment, then it shouldn't make a difference. It really shouldn't. It shouldn't use that as an excuse anyway. I find that doubtful. Maybe I'm seeing the 1 ounce of good in Starmer, but I find that doubtful.
They're not going to call an early election, right? They're going to be in power till the last minute they can. But whether Starmer will be there, I don't know. The way he's going, I can't see him being there next year. I think that perhaps some of the Labour Party will conspire against him, but they will not call an early election. So no way. Yeah, they waited so long to get into power and do what they wanted to do. They're not going to throw that away too easy. No,
definitely not. Question: Preppers might already have 5 years of 25 grams of choco ration, but will they accept the Brit card for 25 grams of choco rations so they have access to 50 grams of choco ration per week?
No chance.
I mean, it depends how it's implemented, but a good prepper would accept the Brit card and would still go and buy his rations because that would not raise as much suspicion as, no, I'm fine, I've got everything. So think about it that way. Think about it when people say, oh, I just stay in my house and, eat all the stuff when they're trying to give away water and food on the streets. No, you need to make it look like you're in the same boat. Thank you, Brian. Scottish Prepper sent £2 all the way from America. Good evening, Preppers. Mike had a skill set. Cheeky. I was a joiner many moons ago. I wouldn't like to try it now. It's like riding a bike, I'm guessing. What are the feeling of average person in the UK about reform? We here in Ireland had a woman basically blocked for running for president as it's a closed shop by the parties. Right, so ask me this last year and reform are getting in 2029, no problems at all. Right, ask me that last year. Ask me now, I've no idea. Because there's so many forks off this now. We've got Advance UK, we've got this other part, we've got multiple right-leaning parties that are springing up, and what all you're doing there is splitting that vote.
Yeah, they're shooting themselves in the foot a little bit.
Exactly. So if 60% of the population was ready to vote for reform just to change it, but now 20% think Advance UK is the option. 10% think this, 5% that.
Yeah.
Guess what? Conservatives are going to end up back in power by default.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or there'll be like a Labour, Green coalition with Lib Dems, and it'll be a great mess. Yeah.
Oh God, can you imagine? That's when you emigrate.
Oh yeah.
I mean, have Wales not thought about seceding from the UK? Just put up a wall.
I've had spats with the local, or the leader of the Plaid Cymru on Facebook and whatnot, and they think they're doing well, but Reform will sweep Labour under the carpet in the Senate elections. When they get a majority or not, I don't know, because Plaid Cymru will merge with Labour, with Lib Dems, just to make sure that Reform might be the largest party in it, just about, but they won't have a majority.
This is what they're going to have. They're going to have everyone teaming up against them, right?
Yeah.
Imagine a conservative Labour coalition. Oh,
That's enough to give you the shakes.
Yeah.
Oh, Madge would be turning in a
Imagine having the left and the extreme left joining together. Then what would you get? The left centre left.
That's Antifa. That's the extreme left. Oh, it's just it's ridiculous. Brian, get Mike to swim across the English Channel. What? All right, he didn't die in the cycle. Let's really kill him off. Cheers, guys. And Wales is like a third world country. It'll go where it's told.
In places it is, yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Nearly.
Oh, terrible. Right. What was on my list again? Yeah, Trump backtracked as well on the Ukraine-Russia thing, right,
Whole
Ben?
180.
Yeah,
Complete 180.
Yeah. Do you want to explain that a bit?
Well, what can I say? This is Trump. I agree with Lee's point. Trump, the best. I'm not going to say I support Trump. Don't get me wrong. There's things he's done and said about Ukraine and things in the past, which were touched on a while back. But he does say it as it is. He's the only president I know of, anyway. And like you said at the start of this, it's all right with language, but like he's the only president I know to stand there and go, "We got two countries that don't know what the fuck they're doing." But no. Yeah, that was shocking to watch at the UN. When he came up, he was blaming it on, the teleprompter being sabotaged and the travelator. And I think it was his mic as well, if I remember correctly. But yeah, no one expected that. And funny enough, earlier on today, there was another post from True Social where Trump has also sort of hinted at sending armaments directly from the US to Ukraine rather than, well, I don't know if it's to change from going through NATO to Ukraine or if they're going to keep that open and Trump's doing direct as well. I'm not sure. It's not clear, but yeah, he's made another 180 announcement that he's going to try and get armaments delivered directly to Ukraine from the US.
Yeah, and basically said that they're good enough to take all the land back.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I actually spoke to Mrs. RP about, and we both did give her a round of applause, as daft as it sounds watching it. But seriously, even if it's a lost cause, as some people say, because we know there's talks out there, people say, no, it's not. Ukraine's losing too much one day and then gaining a lot again and losing again. It's back and forth. But no, I think Trump actually has got a fair point, because one thing we've been saying for a long while is there's a lot of covert stuff going on that they're not saying because of the new ruling with the media blackout in the US on certain things. And all of a sudden, Trump's walking into the UN. He's slandering different countries, saying, you're letting your country go to hell. You're letting your country go to hell. You're letting your country go to hell.
Yeah.
And then immediately goes, but even though I'm blaming you all for what you've done to your own countries, how about this? Ukraine can do it all, and you lot need to help them. And if you all unite and help Ukraine, they'll take it all back to the 2022, or is he going further back than that, the borders?
I'm not sure. Is he talking about Crimea as well?
That's what I'm trying to suss out still, and so is Mrs. RP, because they weren't exactly detailed on it. He just said the whole of it.
Yeah, and from Putin's standpoint, it seems like that's closing off all negotiations then now.
Yeah, and to be fair, the Kremlin did come forward today and Lavrov and basically state that NATO's declared war on Russia. I got a whole thing on X I could pull up and just literally mouse scroll through it. There's loads
Doom
of
scrolling X.
Well, let's see. I'll just go by one of the most recents that's similar to this. Trump says he will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank and stresses he spoke about it with Netanyahu. And then before that, they're talking about Poland to change law on shooting down Russian drones, missiles in Ukraine's airspace without asking for permission from other NATO members or the European Union.
Fair enough. It's their airspace. No problem with that whatsoever. Magic Hagen said Trump told the UN that all the countries are going to hell, and you know what? He wasn't far wrong. The open borders experiment hasn't worked, and we all know it. It doesn't make us extreme right. It makes us blokes with common sense.
Well, it all depends on your point of view, is it, if it's worked or not. If you wanted to disrupt the population by bringing in migrants, then it's worked perfectly fine for you, isn't it? It's gone to plan. If you wanted to bring or create an excuse to bring in more draconian laws, it's worked perfectly for you, isn't it?
Bring them all in so you can introduce these laws to say that you're going to get rid of them.
Well, it makes perfect sense, really. But like, why is this migrant crisis only happened now in the last few years? You know, it wasn't there 10 years ago, it wasn't there 15 years ago, 20 years ago, but it just seemed to happen now, isn't it? And it's and you can see what's happened to the country in the last few years, and people are upset, and they want change, and then the government will say, "All right, and you want change? We'll do this, we'll do that. We'll bring on this sort of bill, we'll bring this sort of law in place." And before we know it, you've welcomed in all these new laws, draconian measures, and are they for your benefit? I argue not.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's I kind of try and avoid the whole this is a master plan thing and this is all thingy, but it's just getting to the point where it's no longer conspiracy theory. It's just obvious and in front of everyone's face, and there's a reason. There's a reason 100,000 people marched through London, sort of thing, you know. I say 100,000 people because that's what the BBC reckons it was. But there's a reason that all these things are happening now, and people are starting to stand up. And it's not far right skinhead football hooligans. It's grannies, it's mothers, it's working people. It's, you know.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's so scary.
Question.
Sorry
to interrupt. If it's because I'm on the X screen still. If you're talking about things that are scary and unprecedented, there's apparently scheduled for next week on Truth Social from the White House. Pete Hegseth has called an unprecedented scaled meeting at the Pentagon for next week. And apparently it's going to be massively proportionate in scale.
Nuclear drills.
I think so, yeah. And apparently they've now implemented the death penalty throughout Washington, D.C.
They should bring it back here.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but
neither did
I agree with you, Paul. I agree with you. In certain extreme circumstances, premeditation.
Life for a life.
Question: when is a UK state of emergency not a state of emergency if no one knows about it?
When we run out of tea bags.
Sorry, or milk.
That's it. Honestly, lockdown, it was like, oh, we need you to do this. Fine. Oh, you need to do this. Fine. Oh, you need to do this. Fine. Pubs are closing. Oh, my God. What are we going to do? Pubs
Drink
are closing.
Oh, crap, we just ran out of tea bags.
My favourite one of COVID rules, and we talk about, because I think for me they were testing the water, right? I know I've said COVID so many times, but it's fine, we're not monetised. But they were testing the water and how much they could control and stuff like that. And what got me is I needed something like socks. And when I went to the supermarket, it was all cordoned off. I was like, can I just get some socks? No, you can't buy clothes because they're not an essential item. I'm like, okay, so I can shop naked, right? No, you can't do it. You just said clothes are not essential. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm stood here, the socks are there, the tills are there. I'm going to grab these beans. Why can't I grab these socks? It made no sense.
The Welsh government came out something like on the 20th of December, right? Just and said like midnight tonight, all toys and that are non-essential and you can't buy them, right? You can imagine a mass panic going up. People trying to get stuff for kids for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 days before Christmas. And what difference does it fucking make, right? If you go into a shop to get baked beans, what difference does it make if you're going across the aisle to get something else? Yeah. It's just it was total fucking lunacy. Total fucking lunacy. But people couldn't see it. They just oblivious to it, going, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." Yeah. Or you go to a pub. If you sit down, you can take your mask off, but you stand up, you got to put your fucking mask on. I was saying to people, "You're fucking nuts! Like you are absolutely fucking crazy." If you look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone saw that, so I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Everyone still carried on. And we had at one point when they brought like the pubs back in, they had, I think the restriction was only a household per table.
8 people.
And as soon as they opened it, I might be dobbing myself in here. I might get a knock at the door. But as soon as they opened them restrictions, we were in one of our local pubs with the entire football team, right? And you can imagine there's people from different ethnic minorities. There's people that completely different ages and stuff like that, coaches and stuff like that. And the police came in. And they just basically turned around and went, "Are you all from the same household?" And we all just went, "Yep, we all live together." And they couldn't say anything.
Yeah. No, it's fucking crazy, man. Yeah. That's why I didn't take notice of it. Didn't take any notice of it whatsoever. Yeah.
No. Well, I got, I could say it now because my previous employer no longer exists. They went out of business. I got a official verbal warning followed by a written, because a picture of me went on social media at a party during lockdown.
Really?
Yeah. And when I say party, I use the term loosely. It was my family and a neighbour's family together in a garden.
Yeah.
So what was it, like a number 41 party? Was it where all your friends and whatnot were in the back garden while everybody was having a lockdown? You were eating cake, beer, and God knows what else, while everybody was in the house, like what the government did.
Yeah, that's it. I was just setting myself by their standard. That's all. But literally, I didn't know a picture had got open. There was a picture at the time. My alopecia was in full swing, so I literally had no hair, like Italian referee style, no hair. And it was one of my mates putting his hand on my head, sort of thing, at distance, and it was just me like that. And yeah, I got a formal warning through work for breaching lockdown guidance.
Well, my sister had the police called on her because she was in the garden with her family, and just before lockdown, she got a son in there and her 2 daughters, so they all living together because they're having a barbecue at the back of the garden, and they thought one of the neighbours reported them for having a gathering, and police knocked at the door. Yeah, I thought, fuck it, what a country we living in here. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the end of that clip of that video. The guy gets 50 bonus points for grassing on his neighbour.
Yeah,
it's pretty much
what
we had.
Yeah, people will do it. Yeah.
We had the curtain twitchers doing it without an incentive.
Yeah.
I got somebody tried to have a go at me at a supermarket when the supermarket's still open. You know, all these restrictions, but the self-service tills were still on. That everyone touches the same screen on. All right, yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense. But going through the self-service checkout, and I wanted a carrier bag, and purely out of blind habit, I went to grab the plastic. You know, like you wet your finger, like grab the plastic, and all I'm touching with that wet finger is my bag that I'm picking up and then opening and using. oh, this guy went off it. And this guy was wearing his mask like this with his nose sticking out. I was just like, I said, go away nicely, you Jobsworth, is the exact words I used, I'm sure. But you can imagine it wasn't as friendly.
Mind you, I got a funny story like that. I went to the local supermarket, got some shopping on the bike. I walk out the supermarket. I've got the neck snood on from the motorbike. All you can see is my literal eyes and the top of my head and whatnot. I put the shopping in the box on the bike. There's two coppers in a car park. They see me come off the car park. They blues and twos in it. Where are you going, sunshine? I actually piped up and replied to them. I just been to the supermarket to get fuel. You can't get fuel on that. You've just gone out for a joyride. I opened the back of the top box, got the bag of shopping out, put the bag of shopping on the floor, got the receipt out there, and held it up in front of them, 2 meters away. Check the bag. I've got food in there, and they let me go. They were going to find me.
Are your papers?
Yeah, find me for getting food.
Absolutely insanity. But we've lived through that madness, and we all think that they can't implement this card and this digital currency. Look how easily they implemented all these rules.
Yeah.
And they didn't even implement it with any sense. Everyone stayed waiting for Boris's announcement. And what was it? Stay at home, work at home. If you can't work at home, work, but don't work. If you can work, then work from home, but then go to the office if you can't work from home.
I actually enjoyed
Cheers,
that.
Boris. I'll have to Google what you just said.
Yeah. It just shows when people are scared, when they're scared enough, they'll do whatever they're told. They'll do anything when they're scared enough. Yeah. You got to kill Granny. So the people are petrified. Kids were scared. So if you scare them enough, they will do what they're told. They will fall in line. And the next thing they're going to scare people with, well, they're already doing it. They're doing it with the kids. Is the climate disaster and the climate change. And if we don't do these things, the world's going to fucking blow up. So they're already doing that now. They're putting that seed in people's heads that if we don't do these measures, the climate's going to fucking. We're in a Euro boiling, wherever it is, isn't it? The climate's going to fucking blow up and we'll all be fried to death. But,
right after the Ice Age, and then the worst winter ever, followed by heat wave and red maps. The best one I saw on that whole heat thing was a red map from like this August gone, showing the temperatures and how red it was, and stuff like that. Yeah, and then a comparison with one from like the early 90s. Where the same temperatures were like lovely sunshine and happy and
But them seeds are put in people's heads all the time. So it's trying to convince them that there's a fucking problem here. We are the problem. We're causing mass damage to the planet. So it's scaring people. So they say, oh look, you can't travel abroad now because of the planet, because of climate change. Oh, they say, oh okay then. Well, you can't do this. You can only have that much meat. They'll fall in line. Because they're pretty programmed.
Yeah. Ben, you've got to do the agenda-free TV thing, not just put it in the private chat. You've got to go breaking news. Breaking news.
That's true, but I don't want to be a rude bastard and interrupt someone. No, it's a couple of things are actually unfolding on X that's kind of on topic. Being collapse is closer than ever. Since I posted, very quick so everyone knows, Denmark has activated its national crisis management system following last night's drone intrusions by an unknown actor over airports and military air bases across the country, with the national operational staff, which is headed by the Danish National Police and consists of representatives from the Danish Emergency Management Agency, Danish Health Authority, Danish Defence Command, Danish Security and Intelligence Services. A lot of them basically have gone active and they're staying operational now 24/7, including the military. But then 3 minutes ago, Germany's defense ministers calling for restraint in responding to the Russian incursions into NATO airspace. Prudence is not cowardice, but rather responsibility towards one's own country and peace in Europe. And then following that, you've got Chinese engineers participate in drone tests at Russian military training grounds. near Crimea. So things are heating up a little bit.
Great, because they've all got these systems and stuff, and we've got nothing. Thank you for posting that link, Miss Worm, but I've it's messed up on my screen because I can see the counter below it now for some strange reason. But there's a QR code there for the shop.
The one with the duck.
Yeah, the one with the duck. They won't let me put my own logo in it, even though I pay a fortune for the premium StreamYard.
You go, just for everybody to see.
If you want ridiculous hoodies and t-shirts, go to my shop. If you want anything to do with real prepping, go to Lee's shop. There you go.
And that's what happens when you click on the link. Not the link, sorry, the QR code.
There you go.
A sale.
Yeah, I'm not stealing from Lee's sale there.
What discount you offering?
Huh?
What discounts?
Look here. Anything to grab a penny. You're not allowed in the sales section, Paul. You gotta go in the full price bit. Yeah. Right. So I mean, I've covered my topics, but the whole thing was about collapse and stuff like that. So, Paul, what are you prepping for?
Well, the food to stop getting imported into the UK. The food shortages, power shortages. What other shortages are there? Oh yeah, probably tinned baked beans shortages and whatnot. Maybe potato shortages, fuel shortages.
So shortages.
Yeah.
That's what you're preparing for. Lee, you must have this conversation a million times in the shop, but if somebody says now to you, like, I mean, everyone's prepping's personal, right? So if you live near a floodplain, prep for floods. If you live where there's grass fires, prep for that. But world-wise, is it more likely something happening in the UK, like we talk about the collapse, or World War III? What's top of your list at the moment?
I don't prep for any particular reason, instant, but it's what's more realistic. That's what I was saying. What's more realistic is going to happen? And say it's war, right? Unless you're in amongst the war zone, it's going to affect you in other ways. Like Paul said, it'd be shortages and your routines are going to change. Then unless it's World War III, obviously it's going to be a little bit different. Mm-hmm. So I always look at it. I suppose my biggest concern, I should say, is what's coming down the line with the agendas, right? I've looked into what we've got coming down the line with our lack of movement or restrictions in our movement, and the control the government's trying to impose on us. And how do you prepare against that? Well, how do you prepare against anything? It's just making sure you can live your life as normal as possible with the supplies you got. And so if there was some sort of control on your movements or what you can buy and what you can't buy, if you got preps in, then you should be more comfortable than everybody else. I don't prep for comet landing or World War III.
Not comets, Lee. They're aliens. They're aliens.
Nothing particular like that. I suppose if you want to class something, it'd be like a general preparedness. And I've always done it. And so I didn't look at the telly one day and think, oh yeah, we could have mass bloody solar flare, or we could have bloody aliens landing. I better prepare for that. I never thought like that. I just like to be prepared for anything, basically. Yeah.
It boils down to the same core stuff anyway, right?
Yeah. Of course, it does. Everyone's going to have the same sort of stuff. Yes, if you are prepping for nuclear war, you will have certain items that someone else might not have. But I've got just about everything, so it doesn't matter. I always say, if you're prepared, it doesn't matter what happens, is it?
Yeah,
you should be okay. But I never wish anything to happen. No one wants anything bad to happen, do they? I got kids. I want them to live in the world with and be happy. So I don't want these things to happen. But if it does, I want to make sure I can look after them.
And I'm starting to see more and more preppers that do want things to happen, which is very worrying to me. I've
There's a lot
always
of
said,
people there. Yeah.
hope for the best, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. But I mean, I suppose it's desperation, people just wanting change so much that they think something has to happen.
Well, and I suppose it justifies as well, innit? You know, if someone's out there and they've got all this survival gear and they're going, they're doing this and whatnot, perhaps you need to justify it, and they're wishing something to happen, or they want to test themselves or something. But no one should wish these terrible things to happen. No one wishes that anyway.
Test yourself now in peace times.
Yeah.
Run the scenarios yourself.
Yeah, we all want to live in a world and get on with each other, don't we? And live as happy as possible. But what I could see is human beings are funny in that we'll thrive for so long, and then something will happen. With some sort of civilization will collapse, and then another civilization will come into this place. And I think the way things are at the moment, we're near the end of this current civilization almost. The American-led civilization. So whether it will be a war or financial crash, I hope not. We'll just carry on. But I get that feeling that something is just around the corner. Myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're gearing up for something. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, the gearing up for something. I don't know if you saw a while ago, you probably saw different reports and stuff. I did a video on it as well about the government purchasing these mass tents for casualties, as well as Paz 49, I believe, did a video on it. It's a great channel, by the way. Go and check Paz out. Also, somebody did a video about the ones in France. But now I know the government's always had these plans, right? It's usually in a file, in a cabinet. But in a time when we're talking about 22 billion pound black hole constantly, and there's no money for this, no money for that, they've not just got a plan for this, they've paid for it, they've bought the stuff. And now that's 4 European countries now that have bought and started training for medical and mass casualties, and they're putting times on it. Like I think France said by 2026.
Yeah, they do have these, and they do have these plans in place, and they've got to have the plans in place. You can imagine if something happens and they never had the plans in place, or they never had the equipment, right? So some civil servant somewhere say, look, this has been on the agenda. We need to have this in place. So they have these plans in place, and then someone's picked up on it. Yeah, it could be they're planning for something, but unless they're going to instigate something, how do they know what's going to happen in 2026? Unless they're going to instigate it. So I don't read too much into that myself.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I just thought it's when it's a country, like if it was just the UK report, I'd have dismissed it the same as you. We're stocking up on PPE. We've learned our lesson from last time. Blah blah blah. But it was back-to-back European countries doing this, and it wasn't just like let's have the equipment and make sure everyone's on point. France were talking about training new staff, training in triaging, like combat triaging, training in dealing with the psychological effects of warfare. And this all had to be in place by a fixed date.
Yeah, it could be like a European-wide initiative. And, yes, we're not part of the EU anymore, but when it comes to NATO, they might think, look, we're doing this in Europe. We're getting these things in place. You have to do the same as well. It could
potentially, it makes sense. And like I say, I try to avoid the conspiracies. It's just sometimes when it's one, I'm like, yeah, okay. When it's two, coincidence. When it's three or four, it's like I start to open my eyes and think, what's going on?
Yeah, I know. I've watched a couple of Paz videos and videos like that, channels like that. They are good. They get a lot of traction because they're telling stuff that people want to hear. People are eager for it today. They want the bad news. They want to know that there's something out there that's going to happen any minute now. Like I said, there's preppers out there who are eager for it and they want things to happen. Of course, if there's channels out there chucking that information out, they're going to lap it up like a bloody dog licking water, and they're going to lap that stuff in. And I don't say it's malicious or anything, but it doesn't help anybody. Doesn't.
No.
So
and it puts us in a difficult position because you'll have noticed it yourself, Lee. If you put some sort of sensational thing on your thumbnail, you get the traffic.
Yeah.
Right? If my highest grossing video is a food bank image and dystopian UK is the title.
Yeah.
Right? What I'm talking about in the video is just like how things are going with the cost of living crisis at the time. So there wasn't the fear in the video, but you've got to draw them in because that's what people are wanting to click on.
Yeah,
And if you want, if I want to get the prepping message across, I could sit here and just do prepping videos back to back, but I'd have 300 people, which is great. I probably do have about 300 people as a core audience, and I love them. It's got a great community that we built, but the channel would never get pushed out to anyone. So you've got to kind of interlace this stuff as well.
You could use a little bit. I try to avoid it because I do YouTube for fun really, and use it to promote the shop, and of course I get sent bloody gear, so I've got to do review videos. I've done a few lately because people send me gear, but I try and avoid that side of it and just stick to practical prepping advice. Has
Wooben been in touch yet?
I've had a few. I've had a few of the torches, and of course I never done the videos. So a couple of months ago they said, "Oh, you got all these torches I want to send you, but you haven't done videos for the last ones yet." I said, "Look, it's not that I'm ignoring you. I just haven't got time to bloody do them." So they sent me an email with that torch a while ago, and I haven't responded to it yet. Yeah,
I mean it's good. It's really good, but it's 50 quid for a torch.
That's not too bad for that sort of torch.
50 quid.
Yeah, it is cool. It's super bright and stuff like that. It's got a million different settings.
Can you start a fire with it?
You could. It gets that hot. It doesn't say that as one of the things, but it's got a hot warning. And literally, as soon as I turned it on and pointed it, I could feel the heat. But you could drop it in underwater. You could take it diving with you.
Does it boil the water?
But like them torches, they got large amount of lumens, right? With the LEDs, really, really, really bright. But they do get hot. And I always say to them, do you need a torch that fucking bright, innit? Unless you're doing security work, you don't need a torch that bright. In fact, you're never going to use that sort of brightness of torch. Especially if you're being, stealth or tactical. You don't need all that fucking lumens. You got to look at these things a bit more practical. What are you actually going to use that fucking equipment for? Are you going to try and blind somebody?
Spotting bloody guide ropes when you're camping. That's what I use it for.
But if you want to use it for security, we'll get a security torch. Don't get a little tiny thing that's going to heat up, and the battery's only going to last fucking 2 hours because it's only a small torch and a bright bulb. So I do get sent stuff like that all the time, but I keep it, and I don't do the videos, unfortunately. Yeah.
I'm doing a video. I've done a video because I wanted to drop it underwater just to do it as a proper test and stuff like that. But the review videos don't get anything though, do they?
No, not really. And I don't like doing them, and unless it gives me sometimes an excuse to get out and do a bit of camping and get under the cover, and I'll use the equipment then. I don't like doing reviews like using the equipment. I see a lot of unboxing videos. They're under the box, and this is what's inside the box, and this is what. Well, I don't want to know about the box and and what's inside. I want to know if it's fucking any good or not. I want to know if it will
does it work.
Yeah,
it's an actual honest review at that point then, because you've actually tried and tested that product, not just I've had it for free.
Yeah.
And not just said the bullshit that the manufacturer wants you to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But unless you're reviewing something that everyone happens to be looking to buy right now, like if you reviewed the Brit card when it came out, you'd get loads of traction. But it's never gonna get that traffic. And the whole idea is to get prepping out to more people. That was probably the point of it. So
going back to the prepping videos, I like to do videos that like you said, like help people in it and give them practical tips and stuff like that, and stay away from the politics and the clickbait and all and that sort of stuff. Leave that to someone else. That's what I mean.
Just comes on here to do it. He just comes on here, saves it all up and rants to us. So, I think I'm out of questions on there. Thank you very much for the super chats tonight. It's actually been awesome. About 20 quid in super chats, so that makes up for the amount of times Brian gets us demonetized. There you go. Miss Worm just said 22 super tonight. Can we get 30? No, you don't. 22 is more than enough.
I thought the 22 quid was your wages, Miss Worm.
Yeah, after YouTube takes its 50% or whatever it is. Yeah, so I think that's about it, to be honest, unless
Yeah.
anyone's got anything else to bring up.
Only
What about the
one thing.
nukes?
I did the nukes at the start. You weren't here, Paul. Did you see that, Lee?
Something about being transported, really.
Yeah, so they've done these convoys all the time. It's not like a new thing. It's not, it's not like, oh my God, breaking news, because it happens all the time. But they've never closed a whole motorway to do it.
Right, yeah.
It's usually alongside traffic, and this was a couple of days ago. Obviously, in Scotland, AI couldn't figure out the road from the picture, but yeah, it's one of these transporters. So
You got to think something like that has been organised or planned for quite a while, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just done on the cuff. And armament's going to be moved every now and again, isn't it? It's so if you're moving armaments about like that, then you say, right, we're not going to close this road off 3 times. We might as well do it all in one go and close this road off for.
But generally, when they've done it in the past, you can see video footage all across YouTube, like they're driving into Stirling, driving around housing estates, driving down motorways. It's with traffic. It's almost like when you see a wide load and they've got the escort vehicle and people just give it a wide berth.
Yeah.
But they closed the motorway, which was different to usual. I just find that odd. And there was a typhoon, I believe, overhead as well for the whole thing.
Was.
Yeah.
We had 2 they came from Lakenheath and they were over the top.
If I had to guess, just speculation,
Nukes.
I think it was well, yeah, we expect that anyway because of the type of trucks and type of thing, but I think it was over securitied because I bet this is American ordnance.
I think so.
Yeah. And we're proving a point to them. That's what I would say.
The only thing I wanted to say very quick before we go is the conversation we had just before the stream, Mike. The buddies come back up, so I pulled up a quick screen share. That's what's been keeping me awake the last 3 nights.
He's just drawing pictures. This is going to be.
Doing, yeah.
What's that? Is that a sub sniffer or something? Or
no, it's just a normal drone. But it's been up now off and on the last fortnight. But the last 2 nights, it's been going up every couple of hours, then going down, then going back up again.
All right, okay.
So
is it MOD?
Hard to tell. I've got everything set to just military and government and helicopter and drones and non-categorized. So hard to tell, but it only comes up in the nights. I haven't seen it active during the daytime.
Could be a local pervert. We had no idea.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. And I've lost audio, I think.
Yeah, it's all. The thing is, we've got to take all of this with a pinch of salt because at the end of the day, there's active conflicts going on around the world that we are semi-involved with when it comes to equipment. We are going to be building. We've seen about the drone factory being built in Swinton. We've seen all this stuff. So don't be alarmed when you see extra planes over the country. They're going to do exercises. They're going to do drills. It is what we do, you know.
I speak to a couple of lads who come off the training area last week. They come down and they've been out to Ukraine and the long-range missiles we sent over there, the Ukrainians were restricted on how far they can go, but now they're giving them the codes so they can launch them in as far as Moscow and into Russia if they wanted, which could happen next year. And what we've done as well, before we had to give the go-ahead to use the missiles, now they've given Ukraine all the go-ahead, so they don't need us to our involvement. So we're giving them the codes to use them long range, and to use them whenever they want. Yeah. At
what point does that become an excuse to sabotage in the UK? You know, the Storm Shadow factory, I believe, is in Stevenage. That could be a target. You know.
Oh yeah. And Russia won't think twice about launching something. You know, if push comes to shove, and they've said that they'd rather see a world. They'd rather see no world at all than a world without Russia. So there's only so much you can poke that bear before he bites back. Yeah.
Scary. Just hope you're prepared in time. Don't forget, Lee's got a sale on. Don't miss out. I saw some Spanish rations in there. Have you got any of them left? Or are they all gone?
There's a couple left. Yeah, the sale items. I haven't got enough room in the shop. I got so much bloody stuff. So I'm trying to get rid of some stuff. I thought put it on sale, and it's going quietly, and then that frees up more room there for newer stuff. So I'm trying to get some more newer stuff in there, and yeah, that's the idea of the sale. Yeah.
Oh,
Excellent.
so it's buy one MRE, get one free, or get one half price.
Not for you, Paul.
Not the bug outs, no.
He's just pushing his luck, Lee. He's just pushing his luck.
You've got to try these things.
Go and check out Lee's sale, thebugout.co.uk, and Lee's YouTube channel. It's a bit more light-hearted than mine. He's got some good stuff on there as well. Did you finish the series?
No, I ran out of time, but I got 3 more to do. I filmed so much of the next 3, and I just got to put it all together. So, problem is, I filmed the first part of it in the new year, and I want to get it finished before the spring. And of course, there's no leaves on the tree then, so I have to wait now till perhaps the new year to do it again. Otherwise,
this Hollywood lifestyle.
But there's no rush for me. I got other things to do and whatever. So, and I film it all locally, so I'll get it done.
Yeah, Miss Worms put all the links in the chat, so go and check out thebugout.co.uk and of course Lee's channel. And Paul also has a channel as well, which Miss Worm put the link in before, I believe. Paul, did she?
Yeah, she has. She's put it in a couple of times.
Yeah, so go and check out Paul's channel, and Ben, of course, has Renegade Preppers as well. So these guys give up their time to come and entertain and talk and shoot the shit with us. So the least you could do is go and show them some love on their channels. Thank you to Miss Worm and all the moderators tonight as well. Lee, any final thoughts and goodbyes?
Just was it Friday tomorrow, so everybody have a good weekend, and don't stress over preparing. It's not the end of the world, not yet. So and go out and make the most of it. And if you've got time, come and see me at the bug house.
Definitely worth the trip. Paul, any final thoughts and goodbyes?
Stay safe. Look after your preps. Go to work. Pay your bills. Stick your fingers up at the Brit card, and tell the government to take a run and jump.
Just remember the disclaimer at the bottom, Mr. Man in a black suit who's watching this stream. All opinions expressed are that of the individual. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you being here. Ben, any final thoughts before you go and get some bloody sleep?
Oh, don't worry, I will be. Mrs. RP's passed out. So chat, guys, everyone, thank you for having me here. Chat, thank you for being awesome. Final thoughts is this. The world is uncertain. Economic collapse probably would be the first thing to come first. So, guys, take Lee's advice. Look at maybe looking into some gold investment or silver, at least, if you can afford it only. If not, just keep an eye on your local news, keep an eye on these guys, and just stay safe out there.
Awesome. Thanks very much, guys. See you all in the next one.
Thanks, all the best.
Bye.
Bye.